Hi, welcome. How you doing? And you join us tonight with a lovely wee ditty from Billy Noel.
The lights go out and you can't be saved. It's time to pay for your cheating ways. You've been brought down upon your knees. Oh, I beg, there's no guarantees. Singing, zombify the walking dead.
Cut. Enough of this. I was just on Clyde here, just recorded it there. I got another wee call coming up straight after it.
Subdivision, phone in. You people need to listen to yourselves the next day and hearken to your totally embittered, one-sided blue views. There we are. 0845 500 1025. John's next. Hi, John.
Hello?
Hello, John. You're on.
Yeah, it seems that other people share my views that Sevco fans that you've got there should accept the fact that when Rangers gave side payments, they were in fact side contracts. And when you analyse the dual contracts, that the problem that Rangers face, you can't handle it. May have got on, is that right? May have got on. Well, I've got you on tape saying it, that you would put me on if I'm on my same name. Well, I've also got Lorraine Herbison, your programme controller, stating that you would not put me on because it goes against Ofcom rules or it would break Ofcom charter. Well, you had someone on your programme saying shit tonight, okay? And you have constant liars on your programme every single night, Sevco fans who are liars. Well, we'll see about that, Mr. Soup Taker. Finish off what the recording didn't there. Yes, Radio Snyde apparently deleted the part of the call or part of the comments made by Alex Ray last night. Well, always be recording these fanjitas because they're just lying, dirty, cheating, fucking wrongs. And here's Jim the Vegetable, who texts me after that saying, haha, he phoned me last night, let a little Wayne, hung up. Here's Jim the Vegetable. Sorry?
Yeah, right. Did you want something, mate?
Yeah, so what are you saying?
Sorry, you're breaking up, mate.
Are you breaking up? What's the matter?
No, the line's breaking up, mate.
What's the matter?
What's the matter? It's a vegetable.
You're a vegetable?
You're a fucking idiot.
Is that right? Can't handle it, can you know? Jim, you're certainly not a Tim, are you? You're just a vegetable. Oh, too shy now, are you, Jim? Oh, you don't want to answer. Just send a little text and then make a few wee shitey comments, and then you run away like a big baby. What a fucking fanny. Jim the Vegetable. Thanks for calling in, Jim. And thanks for no answering. I'll keep ringing it out. Jim the Vegetable. The shite bag vegetable. Who texted after it was on. Ready. And he can't answer. Keep ringing. There we go. Jim the shite bag. Hello. Is that Jim the Vegetable playing music? Jim the Vegetable playing music. After a minute and a half, he finally finds a CD with music to play. Jim the Vegetable. Is he still playing the music? Jim the Vegetable. We like Jim the Vegetable. Jim the Vegetable. Jim the Vegetable. Jim the Vegetable. He took a minute and a half to find a CD because he's a shite bag. Jim the Vegetable, the shite bag. And if you give me 2 seconds, we'll get some numbers here and we'll get a phoning. We're a phone in, we're a phone out show. Jim the Vegetable's got my number. He's welcome to phone me back at any point. And we're just getting some numbers out here. Hold on 2 seconds, we'll be right with it, troops. Right, what will we go for first? Aye. We'll not take this guy first, but we'll store him and then we'll come back to him. And oh, hold on, mate. Maybe we should do this first. So shocking programme there on Radio Clyde with the Sev Cophants, and Jim Delahunt, and Darryl King, Sev Cophants, one and all. Yeah, pretty much sums the crackpots up. Hello, Gordon. I'm funny, speak to Darryl, please. Any other Sevco fans there? Oh, I didn't want to talk, did he? Oh dear. Right, he's not playing ball. I do believe I have another number here for someone. No, that's not who we want, We don't want him. Yeah, so shocking performance from Radio Clyde. They can't handle it. Can't handle the truth being directed at them. It's a shame, isn't it? Can't handle the truth. Let's see.
Your call.
Right, let's see. Obviously, for certain reasons, I won't mention the people who I'm phoning unless they pick it up. And then we'll get them quoted, fully quoted, live on radio. We've got to tell the truth. The truth has got to get out there. You know, there's a truth that has to be told here. There's a truth that's got to be told. And the one is, the most important truth is that what Rangers have done, they have cheated, they have defrauded the Scottish football fan for so long. Truth and justice and proper restorative justice should be happening. Hello?
Hello, yes.
Hi, Dr. Andrew Waddell.
Yes.
Oh, hi there. How you doing? My name's Tommy Gold from Glasgow Radio Online.
Yes, I'm actually in the middle of a meeting at the minute. Is it something to do with urgent there? Can I get back to you later?
Oh, yeah, if you want to get back to me if possible, please, yeah.
Okay. And what's it in connection with, so I know what I'm talking about when I get back to you?
Sorry?
What will it be in connection with when I get back to you?
Oh, just the meltdown of Scottish football, and is there a way out that you would see possible that Scottish football can resuscitate itself at some point in the future?
Actually, I'm going to decline on that one because I don't know if you're aware or not, but I'm actually on the SFA Council and have to deal with some of these things, and I could put myself in a very compromising position.
All right, you're on a committee for the decision
I do apologise, but as one of the Blazers, I really do need to decline that invitation.
Do you feel that you'll be totally impartial regarding the decisions that's got to be made there, Mr. Waddell?
No problem at all with that, but I'm maybe being overly sensitive, but I am uncomfortable doing that at the minute. But so thank you very much for considering me, but I'm afraid the answer will be no.
Do you think you will be impartial when the decision comes, though?
That's I don't know what decision you're talking about, and I certainly would not be discussing any things in advance.
Well, you've got previous regarding it, so I just wanted to get your take on it, obviously.
No, as I say, I have no understanding of what you're talking about, and I will not be commenting further. So thanks very much, Henry, for getting in touch. Sorry I can't be
Take care. Thank you very much. Sorry to have bothered you. Sorry, that was Dr. Andrew Waddell. At one point I called him Mr. Do apologise there. Sorry about that. Sorry, Dr. Andrew Waddell. He's part of a committee. What committee is that? Hi. Hello, is that Scott Struthers?
Speaking.
Oh, hi, my name's Tommy Gold, Glasgow Radio Online.
Glasgow Online?
Glasgow Radio Online.
Radio, huh?
Yeah, just here to take your take and get your take on the current situation of Scottish football vis-a-vis what's happened in the last few months. Do you think that we're in any position to move forward and survive in some remnants of a proper state? Yeah. Line cut off there, does it? Ah, maybe he hung up. I thought I pressed a button there. I thought it was my fault. Just didn't want to talk. Oh dear. All these blazers. The blazers don't want to talk. Maybe we'll jump over, we'll change tack now, because obviously we ain't getting anywhere with the football players or the blazers. Now, where can we go in this dual contract issue? You know, the players are not willing to talk. The media's want to blank us. The blazers don't want to talk to me.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Willie McKay.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing? Tommy Gold, Glasgow Radio Online here.
Who?
Tommy Gold, Glasgow Radio Online.
Yeah.
I'm here to canvass your thoughts on the dual contract issue with Rangers.
Who?
The dual contract issue with Rangers. When a player signs between relevant...
I can't hear you, pal. It's a bad line.
What I'm saying is, when a player transfers between associations, say from England to Scotland, the documentation, does that have to go through? Is that a FIFA document that has to be passed through so that every penny is accounted and FIFA knows about it?
If it's, yeah, I mean, it's FA, the English Football Association. Hello, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, sorry, yeah, you go.
Yeah. Oh,
Willie, yes, I can hear you, Willie, yeah, carry on.
right, ask me again.
What I said was, should a player transfer between, say, a football association, any football association, the contract, it goes through FIFA, it's passed from one association to the other, and it's got to detail every single penny paid to that player, because that's a regulation that FIFA have. Is that correct?
To the player. No, not to the player.
Sorry?
The club. Not to the player, to the clubs.
No, the club.
International players.
The clubs.
International players.
But the clubs.
No, it's not the player.
No, not the player.
Right. No, then, if a transfer is made between Scotland and France, right, the international transfer will be made, and normally it's 5% for the, you know, the previous clubs of the players played for.
No, you're missing what I'm asking here, Willie. What I'm asking is that the paperwork between the clubs.
Listen. I'm on a fucking quiz. Ask me what you want me to ask.
Sorry, Willie, brother. Listen.
Wait, I'm not on a quiz, right? You asked me a question, I didn't fucking know you. You asked me a question, I'm trying to be helpful, right?
I'm Tommy Gold, mate. I'm the Tommy Gold. I'm the man crackpot for the radio. I'm Tommy Gold, the man crackpot for the radio.
Aye.
But anyway,
it's not a quiz, is it?
No, with the deepest respect, what I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm doing investigation because I'm trying to find something out, Willie, and I'm not quizzing you. I just wanted to know that, see, on the paperwork that a club gives to the association, because I've got the information from the registration body of the Welsh FA, and I just wanted to ask yourself, being an agent of repute, that the paper. Sorry.
The Welsh FA.
Yeah, what I was asking, I'd asked a gentleman called Mark in the registration there, what the details were between a club and the football association, and he said if a football player moves from any association, the paperwork has got to be, it's a FIFA document, and every penny that is earned by that player has got to be documented in that agreement. And I was just asking your point, is that the case, Willie?
I don't know about that, Paul.
No.
I don't think that's a lot of bollocks. I think a transfer fee, if it's a transfer fee or any agent is going to be listed. Any agent work for the club, any agent work for the buying club, the selling club, or the player must be listed. But the player's individual, terms when they be disclosed. No.
And see the carry on with the EBTs. any players that you've signed at all, the EBT carry on that's happening with Rangers, have you ever signed a player for Rangers with an EBT?
What?
Have you ever signed a player for Rangers with an EBT?
I can't hear you, pal. What's the EBT? What's that?
The EBT is the situation with Rangers. Is there any players you've put forward to Rangers that have been signed on an EBT, Mr. McKay?
No, never. I've not dealt with Rangers since Daniel Kuzan and never signed.
Daniel Kuzan? No.
Okay.
No problem. And listen, I'm sorry to have took your time, Willie. I'm sorry for bothering you, my friend. It was just the main situation. It wasn't a quiz, like you say. It wasn't a quiz, mate. It was just to ask your opinion on a few things.
No problem at all. Listen here. Hey.
Right.
Listen. No, I'm in France now. Just when you phoned up, I don't share any questions. You know what I'm talking about.
Aye.
All right, because of going to Glasgow, I'll answer the question. You know what I'm talking about.
Aye, mate. No, I appreciate it, Willie. No, I'm a big fan of yours, mate. No, but I wasn't trying to trick you up or anything. I was here generally finding out the situation.
No problem. Phone me anytime.
You're down the south of France. Is Craig White or David Murray there at all?
No, I can't see them anywhere. Right, you're down in the chapel.
You're in the chapel?
The father, the son.
Listen, go and speak to the priest, and any sins you've committed, put me down for a few as well, right? Put me down for a confession or two. You're a gentleman, Willie. God bless, mate.
Right.
He was single fish, wasn't he? Willie McKay, football agent. Right, drawing a blank there, drawing a blank. Where do we go next? Where do we head to next? Oh, hello, I'm phoning to speak to Mr. McGinn, please.
Who's speaking?
My name's Tommy Gold, Glasgow Radio Online.
Okay, yeah.
Is it Mr. McGinn, yeah?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, how you doing, Mr. McGinn? Sorry to have bothered you. Hello?
Hello.
Sorry, I thought I'm just adjusting the volume there. It was quite bad in the line. Yeah, so I was just here to get your take on the situation with the dual contract with Glasgow Rangers. And the situation, how can I ask you a piece of advice? I've spoke to someone in the Welsh registration department, and I wanted to, and it was just for a small piece of information for the record for myself. It was very trivial, but the paperwork when a player transfers between football association, is that a FIFA document that goes between the two associations, Mr. McGinn?
Yes, a transfer of you're registered with your own association. If you're actually going from association to association, then you've got to get it approved by FIFA.
And on that document, does that entail every payment that is made to every player, to the player? That it should be, it's a contract. Is everything in that contract should be titled?
I don't. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I'm away from this altogether now, actually, but. All
all your contractual obligations are contained in your normal association registration. Whether they're contained in the ones with FIFA, I'm not sure. I'm not certain.
Right.
Okay.
No, yeah. That's what the stuff that I was told from, as I say, a member of who was part of the registration department of the Welsh Football Association. He had told me, he'd informed me that the documentation between, if it goes between different associations, it's a FIFA. I can't quote the exact number or document that it was. He quoted it a few times to me, but that document is an official document. The reason why I'm asking it, Mr. McGinn, is obviously with the dual contract situation with Glasgow Rangers, and obviously with many people on the board of the Scottish Football Association were obviously at the same time on the board of Glasgow Rangers. I was just wanting to, obviously, as an investigative journalist, try to get to the bottom of how a programme of, as what people at the BBC have called it, institutional, non-payment of tax through the EBT system. But that's not the main focus I'm after. I was here about the dual contract situation, because that's what's coming.
If someone in the registration department is giving you information, it's probably accurate. I mean, I'm away from the game now altogether, so what the position is exactly, I don't know. But having spoken to someone from Wales, as you tell me, if they tell you that and they've quoted whatever the thing is, I'm sure it'll be right.
Yeah. Well, the main issue is then in this dual contract that the side letters would be in fact contracts. I
don't know. Listen to me. I'm not involved in this.
No, I'm not saying you are, Mr. McGinn. I do apologise.
But I can't comment on something I don't know.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm getting your take on it, because obviously you worked at a senior position at the SFA for a long time. At the same time, when this alleged fraud, quote unquote fraud, or systematic abuse of the system happened, it was under not only your watch but other people's watch, and obviously people are wanting to get to the bottom of it for justice and truth to be fully established, and that's all. And I beg your pardon for bothering you this time, Mr. McGinn.
No, that's okay. I'm sorry I can't help you any more than I've already said.
Well, is there any chance that you could get your comments on how you see the situation finishing up in the next few months?
No, I'm away from the game now. I don't take part in anything at all. I'm a long time away from the SFA presidency. So speak to people who are currently involved.
But as I said, at your time and your watch that this thing happened. No,
please don't have me repeat myself. I cannot tell you any more.
No problem, Mr. McGinn. Listen, take care. God bless. Have a good night.
Okay.
Yeah? Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
There's Mr. Jack McGinn there. He was there at the time. Well, the key statement was, if it was stated by the person in the Welsh FFA, then it's a case. That's what the case is. The documentation, the transfer of a player between various clubs has all been documented, has to be documented.
Hello.
Oh, hello. I'm going to speak to Mr. McBeth, please.
Who's calling, please?
My name's Tommy Gold, Glasgow Radio Online.
Sorry?
My name's Tommy Gold from Glasgow Radio Online.
Hold on a second, please.
Oh, thank you.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. McBeth.
Yes.
Oh, hi, Mr. McBeth. My name's Tommy Gold from Glasgow Radio Online. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I was phoning. I'm here trying to piece some stuff together that I was given by a gentleman in the Welsh FA, the registration department, regarding how players are transferred between associations. For an example, if a player's transferred from the English Football Association to the Scottish Football Association, that the documentation, I just wanted to ask you, do you know the documentation, is it FIFA documentation that is used between the relevant football associations, Mr. McBeath?
Well, you're asking me something that I would have known 10 years ago. I don't know, president's FIFA, but I mean, I really don't know. I couldn't answer that question. I have to go and look at it.
Well, the period I'm asking...
I'm no longer the president. I haven't been president for 10 years at least.
But when did you finish up to be the president, Mr. McBeath, sorry?
Oh, we've had 2 presidents since me. So that's, 8 years? Something like that.
8 years. Yeah, well, obviously you were present then at the start of the EBT dual contract scandal that's hitting Scottish football at the moment, Mr. McBeath. And as I said, sorry?
What was that?
Well, but if you were there and you left just 8 years ago, then the period under investigation starts about 2-3 years prior to that. So the FIFA documentation has probably been out there for a while. So if it was, you said to ask you 6 years ago, I'm asking for the period of 8-10 years ago, that the documentation that a player goes between football association, that's on FIFA paperwork, and everything in that document regards the player, how much he's paid. And I was just phoning to ask it for confirmation from yourself, Mr. McBeath, that this was what was happening while you were at the office.
Well, I wouldn't handle. I mean, obviously the president wouldn't handle that. It'd be done by the office itself. But basically, I think what happens is that it's a FIFA document. You basically record what your contract is with the player, because obviously if there's going to be a dispute later on, that's the contract that's referred to, right? If you've got a separate contract somewhere else and you don't tell anybody about it, then that's something totally different.
So side letters that have been seen by the British Broadcasting Corporation, Mark Daly, who has seen side letters from various players. Some people have commented saying it's on an industrial scale. Mr. McBeath, I can ask you, if this is the case, that these dual contracts were put out, does this constitute as match fixing or fraud?
Basically, it means you haven't told the FA, which you should have told them about it. I mean, players can have contracts for selling cornflakes. I mean, something different. If it's to do with football, it's got to be in that contract that they send to the SFA or the FA, whoever they're dealing with. They've got to put in that contract exactly what the player's getting for his football. Now, if in fact he's got another contract somewhere else that nobody knows about, then that's contravening basically the rules, as I know them.
Well, it can't be that no one knew about it, because millions of pounds were paid to Walter Smith, Alan McCoy, Stephen Kloss, Barry Ferguson, and up to maybe 50 to at least another 100 people over a 10-year period. So for this to happen, and one of the myths that's put out in the media just now, that these EBT extra payments were notified to the SFA or SFL, but the Rangers tax case blogger has identified that no such evidence and nothing of the sort ever happened. Can you confirm that, Mr. McBeath?
Well, I certainly didn't know anything about them paying extra money elsewhere. So basically, the rule is, as I said to you, that the contract basically should state what the player is getting, full stop, because it's meant to be, at the end of the day, if there's a problem, then that's what the argument, any legal argument they have later on, goes to that contract that's given to the SFA. Now, if that contract that went to the SFA did not disclose that the player was getting something else somewhere else, then it was against the rules. So
then if the BBC have got evidence that extra money has been paid in the case of millions to all these people, then that's prima facie evidence that people have been paid dual contracts, which contravenes FIFA guidelines, FIFA letters. So it's an open and shut case.
We're not talking about players now. I mean, you mentioned Walter Smith and various others. It's only players that have to register.
Well, Stephen Kloss, Barry Ferguson.
Managers, you don't need to know about them.
Well, okay, but we'll talk about. Well, okay, yeah, that's for the tax man to deal with them. But then, if we talk about the dual contracts, talk about Stephen Kloss, talk about Peter Lovenkrands, talk about Alex Ray, talk about Billy Dodds, talk about all these players, talk about Dado Prusso, talk about the Dutch player who played in a semi-final of a World Cup or of a European Championship. So all these players played with side letters, which were basically side contracts, which contravene FIFA, as you've stated yourself here very kindly, Mr. McBeath, and I do appreciate that. You've stated that this is all, if it's not on there, if these payments have went through, then it's in fact have broke FIFA guidelines and FIFA law.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
if it's being paid offshore and something else, then that is, there's a way of doing that, and that's something that the taxman's going to do. Obviously, in the case that the Rangers have got just now with HMRC, the taxman will come to a decision on that, whether they did it tax-wise legally. And it would appear that there's a question mark about that because they didn't tell the taxman.
Yes.
And they had a contract. Now you can do this, as I understand it. You can actually do the EBTs legally as long as you don't have a contract that states this is what you will get. It can be something that can come later if somebody pays it as a bonus. So as long as it's not written down and it's not contracted. Now you can well imagine that the agent of the player is not going to take that. He's going to say, wait a minute, hang on, is this somebody's word we're just going to accept here? Or do we have a side letter? And it's those side letters, I would imagine, that's the problem.
Well, yeah, because
that's only me reading between the lines. I haven't been involved in this at all, but that's how I see it at the moment.
No, well, that's how a lot of people see it, and obviously the proposals put out to everyone that they would only be losing titles. Now, there's no other debate on what else should happen to them apart from losing titles. Do you feel that rather restricts the debate? What other punishment could be, or what other, I mean, not even to call it a punishment, but what other, sanction or what other measure can be put in place to stop other clubs chancing their arm, for want of a better phrase, from doing this? Because obviously the reason why there's systems or measurements in place for people who overstep the mark in any form of society, the reason why there's measurements to say, oh no, you can't do this, if you do this, this will happen to you, is because you have to set a standard. You can't have a free-for-all. So if Rangers are seen to get away with this, then it sets a template that every club should now go out and sign people on extra contracts, pay them not through unscrupulous means, through voodoo economic tax purposes. The example has to be set, Mr. McBeath. What other measure would you say would be suitable other than stripping titles? Because I don't think that we're properly discussing what should happen for someone or some team who has committed what has been described by an SFA committee as just being one step below match fixing. Is there any other punishment that you think that should be possible or meted out?
Well, it can only be a football punishment, obviously. I mean, you've got HMRC will make the other punishment, whatever they decide. If they decide that these things are not done properly, then the government will chase whoever they've got to chase. As far as football is concerned, then the people who do it have got to be... punishment has to be given to them in some way to stop other people doing it. That's basically it. And once it's happened, it's got to be stopped. And the only thing the FFA, as presumed, the only thing the FAs can do is to punish the team that did it. And I put them back to the third. Well, obviously the Rangers are a different situation. They went to receivership and then liquidation, and all of this complicates it. But if there was no liquidation, then there has to be some punishment by the FA to a team who doesn't tell them the whole truth.
Well, so far people would say that there's not been much punishment happen because it's only been a consequence of their action. The fact that they liquidated and look to be put straight back into the Premier League, but for last year alone, the punishment that they accepted, a transfer embargo for a year, that for the punishment of a case that was put to them, as I say, the statement I made there, one step below match fixing. by not paying your PAYE tax bill by 9 million, giving you an unfair advantage by not declaring, your books, your financial statement for years. This is a case of, wanton systematic abuse of the system from many people working on behalf of that club. And what I'm trying to get to the bottom of phoning yourself, Mr. McBeath, was how much influence did these people from Rangers have in the SFA at your time?
No undue influence. There were, I think, Campbell Willoughby, he was on the board, but he got to Hearts by that time. Going back a wee bit, when you talked about the embargo on players' transfers, that basically came about because Rangers had got a player from Austria, and they transferred them into their team and then sold them to Everton, and didn't pay the Austrians the money they should have paid, but they kept the money they got from Everton. That embargo was about. That wasn't about EBTs. That wasn't about.
Oh no! It was about the non-payment of the PAYE and the systematic abuse of the system being wholly disreputable. What they said about Craig White. I mean, the punishment they gave Craig White and Rangers at the time. They gave the fine to Rangers 160,000, which went into the big pot. They get liquidated, and they paid zero. The fact that they didn't pay their bills led them to be liquidated. The punishment for being liquidated would be actually exclusion from the SFA, and the option that was on the table, except the transfer embargo, was something that was dreamed up. The two other options on the table for the almost match fixing case against them was either expulsion from the cup or expulsion or being expelled from the SFA. Why, at this stage, do you think that the SFA or the bodies do not look to expel or suspend Rangers for the serious case of the last year of not paying your PAYE for 10 million and the dual contracts and the EBT and the whole business of not paying over 100 million? What point do people wake up and say, this is not giving Rangers assistance? That's the point a lot of fair-minded people are saying,
You have to ask the people who are in charge at the moment why they did what they did. I certainly have asked the question of them, why did you do it the way you did? It seemed to be the wrong way to do it. But
how would you have done it, Mr. McBeath?
Well, I think I'd have taken a step back and let the whole thing come to the court, the HMRC first, and I think if they went into liquidation, then they would have to reapply to join the league. That's a league situation. The SFA would have to look at it and say, well, and I think what happened was the SFA looked at it and thought, oh heavens, this is a big club, there's a lot of support, there's money involved. And that's what the ethics go out the window when money starts to get involved in it. And I think they started to think, wait a minute, what can we do here? Now, I'm only guessing that's what they thought. It certainly didn't arrive at my time, so I really...
Do you think that's right, Mr. McBeath, that they should care about money when the product that they put on the park has been stained?
The ethics of the game, they should care about integrity. Because, and I've said many, many, many times to them, even now at the odd council meeting I get invited to, that if you look after the game, money will follow you. If you look after money, you'll kill the game. And that's exactly what Rangers were doing. They were killing the game. And they're not alone on that. I mean, you can look at into Europe, and it's all about money that they're going about. FIFA was all about money. Always about money. It wasn't about the game. Now, to me, you keep going down that road, you'll kill the game. You'll get people turned off and will not want to know about it. If you look after the game and get the rules right and make sure everybody's playing the game, money will come after you.
And do you feel that the integrity in Scottish football is gone from what has happened? I think it was severely dented. You'd have to really ask Mr. Regan and those that got involved in the machinations they got involved in as to why they did it. I still don't know quite. It wouldn't have happened in my time. Some people would say that Mr. Regan and Mr. Doncaster are the patsies, or the fall guys for Mr. Ogilvie and all this. Would you concur with that feeling?
No, I don't think Campbell's really. No, I don't think Campbell's. I wouldn't be blaming Campbell at all. No, I think you get two men, Liga and Doncaster, who don't really understand what they've come into. But Campbell, I don't think is. Campbell's a gentleman. You know, he's a nice guy. He found himself in a funny situation. You know.
No, I dare say, as you're a nice gentleman yourself for taking the time to talk to me, Mr. McBeath. I'm not casting any aspersions on Mr. Campbell Ogilvie. What I'm trying to do is to get to the bottom that how he can sit as a director of not only one but a couple of Scottish clubs, and then obviously sit on the board now as the president of the SFA at the same time as one of the member clubs brings the game into disrepute with a massive.
You'd have to ask him that question.
Have you got his number?
I don't actually at the moment. No, I don't.
No.
I don't have it.
Could you get it? I would love to ask him it. I would love to ask him it.
Well, I think you'll find he's in a dilemma too about the whole thing.
Well, that's what we're trying to get to.
You have to ask him the question direct.
Do you think that Scottish football will survive this? And do you think we're at Armageddon, or do you think that comment has been overplayed?
Armageddon? That was a daft comment to make.
It was Armageddon for Rangers anyway.
It was unwise, that comment about Armageddon. I think it was geared to frighten us all into allowing Rangers back into the SPL. I think that was our first division or whatever they were trying to do. I think there was games being played, but certainly it wouldn't have happened in my time, I'll tell you that.
It wouldn't have happened in your time. So yeah, well, thanks a lot, Mr. McBeath, for that. And the first years, so taking you back to that when you finished, would that be about 2004 then, would you say? Was it 2003, 2004?
2004, Campbell, so it's 7 minutes, and when did I give up this? Campbell's done about 2 in a second. So about 6 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
6 years ago, I think I gave up. And I'm out of it altogether. I mean, I'm completely out of it. I'm no longer in any of the. I'm looked upon as an honorary vice president and can turn up at 4 council meetings a year, and that's it. It's a lot.
It sounds like a good gig. A lot of people go into it to make a career out of it.
Well, I couldn't make a career out of it. Once you're over, you're finished with the presidency, you're finished. You're out the door. That's fair enough. I mean, if somebody else wants your job and they carry on, that's fine.
How did you get into something like that, if you don't mind me asking, Mr. McBeath? I mean, for myself... You do a lot of years
with a club, and you join... How did I get into it? I was part of the Glasgow Association, and... it's a big long story. I could write a book about it. But I've been in football now for something like... nearly 40 years I've been in football.
Well, I'm 40 myself. I've been in it for 35 years myself. What kept you?
Were you a director of a football club?
No, I don't know a 5-year-old. Only my Subuto league, but no.
You had to be a director to get in the door first, and then you had all the machinations that go on. Just like any politics, it's the same sort of situation. If you have people who support you and say, we'd like you to take it on. And I must admit, I got there, I think, by default.
No, you must...
I was the chairman of Clyde, and I gave up when I became the president. I gave up the board just before I became president. Can I ask you... Just to look after the SFA. It's a totally different thing to be president of the SFA than to be president of a football club. A football club, you're always worrying about the bank manager. You're always worrying about how you pay the players, how you keep things moving, and money concentrates your mind. I gave it up thinking I'll take a year or two to get out of that way of thinking and try to see the game as a whole and how you develop the game, how you get youngsters involved, and forget about the money, get the game right. And that was my thinking at the time. But
and does it anger you? Does it anger you sometimes? Because I see the value. If you look at Scotland, we've got 40 professional clubs, and you compare it with 1/10 of the size of England, and they've got only 92. And people decry all these so-called, and it's a terrible quote, Diddy clubs. But I feel that all these community clubs that survive in all the little towns and all the little villages and little places all over Scotland are vital in their own small way for their own parts in the community.
Absolutely agree. I agree entirely. That's a bit that has to be encouraged. It has to be at that level. Unfortunately, you get people going into football clubs, the big football clubs, who don't really think that way. They think purely and simply of their time there. Can we win the European Cup? Can we be big in Europe? And forget about all these youngsters that are trying to find their way through. We haven't yet solved that problem. We've still got that problem about the juniors. We have a legacy of juniors. We've got welfare. We've got a whole fleet of football people that were, when I took over, they were all over the place. They had head offices in the West End, they had head offices in Falkirk, they had head offices in Edinburgh. And when Hampden was built, I managed to get them all to come into Hampden and got rent-free offices there, so they were all in the one building, which was a start to say, look, we're all in this game together. Now, you might not talk to one another, but if you're all in the same building, you have to bump into one another. If no other than at the gents' toilet, at least you'll know these people are there, and you know where you fit into the game. And that was the whole point of getting them into Hampden. Now, that's a kind of evolution that I was trying to do at the time. But I'm afraid there was one or two people who don't even think in those lines. They don't even, it's self. But I can understand it to a certain extent, because they have got big bills to pay and they've got players to pay, and they want to make as much money as they can. But it's not helping the game. No,
I understand what you're saying there. You've been very kind to take the time to talk to me, Mr. McBeath.
No problem. Until you don't put me all over the newspapers tomorrow. I'm enjoying my retirement. Thanks very much.
No. Well, hopefully, obviously, I'm hoping it does make the newspaper. So if we're all over the newspaper, then yeah. But I'll try and make it that way. I won't be certainly going through the Sun. And during your time, did you have any favourite journalists, or was there any journalists that really upped you? Any journalist in your time that you really, didn't take a light to?
There was one or two that were reasonable. There was one or two who were just absolute nutcases, that were just looking for stories and we could spin it. In fact, one or two of them did me a lot of damage about things that I was supposed to have said, which they got wrong. But there was one or two who were.
Would that be someone with a middle name of Sexton with an end name of Trainer by any chance?
Mr. Trainer. Well, if you come from Airdrie, you're all right with Mr. Trainer.
Were you from Airdrie, Mr. McBeath? You were from Airdrie?
People like, wait till I think now, very precise. There was one or two. The other guy who now writes for he writes for one of the English papers in the Guardian, I think. His name escapes me at the moment.
Graham Spears?
I guess it wasn't too bad either. He wasn't too bad. There was another one, another guy who wrote for them. But they actually knew something about the problems and what were facing, how you were trying to solve them. Others, it was more just about heathens and folk like that. It was just sensational. Sell the newspapers. Here we go again.
And your view of Hugh Keevins as a journalist, does he pass the mustard, or do you think he's just a sensationalist crap talker?
I think he's just doing a job, earning money. I don't know. I don't read them so much these days, so I never buy that paper. So.
That's all they're out to do. They're just out to sell papers, to sell airspace, and that's great.
Once it builds you up, they knock you down very quickly. But that's the nature of the animal, I'm afraid.
Well,
so you got with it. So I'm quite happy to have retired, and I still do a fair wee bit for UEFA as a delegate. I do the odd game here and there throughout Europe, which keeps me in touch with the game as a whole. But I don't do anything with the SFA at all now.
No, I mean they call them the MSM, the mainstream media. I'm what you would call as part of the internet bampots, as Mr. Hugh Keevan coined us. But we do it for the love of the game. I mean, for myself, I do my broadcast and people do their stuff, the blogging. We do it because we've got a love and an interest as fans, and we're out. And if it wasn't for us making a stance, then the game in this country would have been ruined because the people at the top of the clubs in Scottish football would possibly have allowed Rangers to stay in the SPL if it wasn't for the fans. You know, there's fans power that says, you know, not on our watch are you going to, you know, we've had the last 10 years, we've had a product that has been forced on us that has been not only substandard because of the way it's been run, but you know, false. It's been a false product. It's been absolutely, you know, fake. It's you might as well watch the wrestling of the World of Sport from 20 years ago. You know, that's a level Scottish football's been at for the last decade.
There's a website, Andrew Jennings. Do you know Andrew Jennings?
No.
Do you know that name, no?
No.
An Englishman. There's a website called transparencyinsport.org. And if you go into that, you'll think that what Scotland's problems are minor to what he has revealed in FIFA. And to me, my last few years at SFA were very much here to what's happening at the very top of the game. And if it's happening up there, then it's very hard to change it down below. The top of the game is FIFA is terrible. UEFA, not bad. FIFA, absolutely desperate. If you go into his website, you'll be amazed.
You haven't got any contacts in FIFA you could pass on, my good way, Mr. McBeath. I would love to cause some damage in FIFA because it sounds like we're on the same side. I can see there's a corruption here, and I'm your man to get in about them and cause some damage. Have you got any contacts here?
Unfortunately, FIFA don't talk to me anymore because I tried to expose them 6 years ago and got kicked out.
What happened? What happened was that? If you want to elaborate, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, I was about to go onto the executive committee as the police representative, and the press stitched me up beautifully. They asked me about corruption in FIFA. What would I do if I found corruption in FIFA? I said I would try to change it, try to understand it and change it. They said, what if you couldn't do it? I said, I'd have to expose it. And that got me into all sorts of trouble.
That's right, I remember now. Sorry for it.
And even the SFA didn't back me on that. I thought, oh hell. But I can understand why, you know, the way FIFA's run, it's all very well standing up against them, but if you're one voice, you're overrun. You know, there's no way you can do it.
So you would, with the deepest respect, Mr. McBeath, you would have stepped on the FIFA gravy train. Some people, and I'd have to put it in the deepest respect, some people would say maybe it's a bit sour grapes, and now you can sit there and say at FIFA.
That's exactly why I haven't spoken too much about it, because they would think it's sour grapes. But in fact, I never understand why people sitting in FIFA, whom I have a lot of respect for, and think highly of as individuals. And I thought, now, why did they not speak up? Why am I the only one that's speaking up? Until I realised the amount of the gravy train, as you called it, the amount of money they were getting for it. Then I sometimes wonder if I'd realised that, would I just have done the same? I hope not, but you never know. It's very, very, very tempting for them. You know, so there's guys there that you would expect, doctors, and there's a fellow from Greece who's highly respected, and yet they don't say anything. Keep their mouth shut. It's the politics of practicalities. You know, means justify the means. You know, it's nothing to do with the ethics of the game or the integrity of the game. It's to do with your own personal take. Unfortunately, FIFA is full of it, and it's been exposed of late. You know, and even the guys who are now that I exposed at the time are now answering Mr. Warner in the Caribbean and Mr. Chuck Blazer and Cardona and all this brigade are now all under regardless for what they've been doing, the amount of money they've been taking out of FIFA. But at the time I mentioned it wasn't popular, and these guys just ditched me completely, got me out. And there's always somebody, the politics of MMA, there's always somebody else wants to take your job. And that's what happened.
And you know,
I'm very happy that I was not tempted to go down that route.
No, well, I mean, when I started speaking to you at the start of the call, Mr. McBeath, I have to say, just in talking to you, I think you're a wonderful, nice, fine gentleman, mate. I think that.
I've got 2 books in me that I should be writing.
No,
I know these characters, but anyway, that's.
Why don't you? Why don't you expose them? Expose them now. It's never too late.
Well, I'll tell you, look up Andrew Jennings website, transparencyinsport.org, and you'll find it all there. Everything's there. Absolutely everything. It's quite amazing. You wonder why you want to be in football.
Yeah. Anyway, no, but listen, as I was just about to say there, that I appreciate you for taking the time to chat to me, Mr. McBeath, and in no way was I trying to insinuate with one of the last questions there that, you know, I was just putting it across to you, you know, that, and I appreciate what you've said there, because I haven't heard you mention anything about it since then, and having spoken to you the last 20 minutes, as I said, the reason why I said that, you seem an outstanding gentleman, and I think that if you had been in there, you probably might have not lasted too long, because I think you would have stayed good to your word. I mean, if you were hounded out before you got there, then it probably means you were a good man that might have done some damage to them.
They gave me a blazer, at least they measured me for the blazer, and that was as far as I got. I was out the door. That was so
you never even got the blazer.
If you got out of it and you move on to it. And I said to Mr. Blatter many weeks after it, I met him somewhere at one of the games, and I said something to him about Mr. Blatter, you know, there's life after football. And he very quickly turned away and did his usual talk to the women round about him, and I never quite finished the sentence, which was, in my country, life means Her Majesty's pleasure. So that was the end of that story, so I haven't seen him since.
Do you think that there will ever be justice in football, that in Scottish football there'll be people serving time at Her Majesty's pleasure? I'm talking about David Murray, Craig White, and other criminals who have...
Craig White it was obvious to me when Craig White came in, what his background was basically winding up clubs and taking any money you can out of it by winding them up. It seemed to me that's exactly what he was about to do. Because his record that was exactly what he was about. And
with...
That was his business, you know. And why Mr. Murray felt he was duped by him takes a lot of... I don't quite understand that.
Well, the question I was about to ask you, having had dealings with an astute businessman like Mr. David Murray, who managed to leverage his companies to the tune of about 900 million with the bank that likes to say yes, the Bank of Scotland, how a knight of the realm can be duped by someone who has a previous record like that. Could I ask you, do you think this was a stitch-up? Do you think this was a fix?
I think there's more to it than that. I mean, anybody... the one thing about borrowing money from the bank, if you're going to borrow from the money from the bank, you borrow billions of pounds. They won't foreclose on you. You borrow 100,000 from them, they'll take the house off you to get it back. Whereas he went right into it in a big way. And, you know, for him to say he was duped by White, it's hard to believe, but there you are.
So do you think that your dealings with Mr. Murray, do you think that he's guilty?
I had very few dealings with Mr. Murray. I only had one, I think, which when we were thinking of rebuilding Hampden. Hampden was on the cards. It was before that we'd started it, and we were looking to play internationals. And Hampden was one of the places to go, Parkhead or Ibrox, because Hampden was not ready. But in fact, it was run down. And at that time, Parkhead had the jungle, so that wasn't quite ready for international football. The only place that was really ready was Ibrox. So we had a meeting with Edward and Ernie Walker at the time. We had a meeting with the said man, and he, instead of, if he was a real businessman, what he should have said to us was, you come here, play all your national games here, no problem. We'll agree a rent and that'll be the end of it. No, he wanted a rent. He wanted all the rights, the television rights. He wanted all the food rights. He wanted everything. I thought, how stupid can you be? I mean, you're forcing us to go and do something else. And that's basically why Hampden got built. Because we just couldn't be held over a barrel by this astute businessman. If it were me sitting in his shoes, I think I would have said to the SFA, do come along, we'll try and help you out and get it working. But that never happened. So, and it didn't have much to do with Mr. Murray thereafter.
Now, see, his friend at the Bank of Scotland, Mr. Gavin Masterton, he was a director of a failed company who built stadiums.
He was in the film, wasn't he?
Yeah. Now, the financial noose that was put around the necks of the top teams in Scotland for having an all-seated stadium and being forced to go through Mr. Murray's friend. Do you think that helped Rangers win some titles? Because if you look at it, the fact that a lot of the league was forced to try and spend to match Rangers' big spending, but having to pay the extra for stadia, steel through Mr. Murray's steel companies, and stadia production through Mr. Masterton's failed business of building stadia, and from failed loans. And apart from Glasgow Celtic, who pulled away in 1994 from the bank that likes to say yes, every other Scottish football club banked with the bank that likes to say yes, but went bust because they couldn't pay their bills. And when Lloyd's TSB walked in and saw the financial black hole and disaster that was Bank of Scotland and Rangers FC, they had a canary fit.
That's one interpretation of it. I couldn't possibly say that.
Well, Mr. Gavin Masterton. Well, Mr. Gavin Masterton, did you have any dealings with him from the Bank of Scotland?
No, I don't think I ever. He was the director. Was he the director of the Fairland?
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I say no more.
Well, silence means consent. Should he be jailed as well for his conspiracy of voodoo economics for killing Scottish football?
I think I've said enough. I've told you enough so far.
Would you go Queen's evidence against him, Mr. McBeth? Because I would back you every step of the way. I'll be your QC, Mr. McBeth. I'll stand with you.
Okay, right. Good to talk to you. Right, I better get on my way.
God bless, Mr. McBeth. It's been a pleasure, and thank you very much for being so candid. And you're a gentleman and a scholar, and I've no doubt that if you'd ever got into FIFA, you would have kicked some cojones in there and changed it for the better.
We'll see. We'll watch with interest, okay?
Speak to you later. God bless, Mr. McBeth.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Well, there you go, Mr. John McBeth. And nice guy. And that's me. We're calling it a night. 67 minutes. 67 minutes. We're going to do 67. Are we out in 67? Or can we get a wee tune? Can we get a wee tune? Hopefully you enjoyed it tonight, troops. Hail, hail. Catch you soon. What's going down? Why is it not playing? Why is it not going down? Hey! There we go. Hail, hail. There's the wrestling. But it should be. We need to move in. We need to get in there. Get on them. Hail, hail.
The lights go out and you can't be saved. It's time to pay for your cheating ways. You've been brought down upon your knees. Oh, I beg, there's no guarantees. Singing, zombify the walking dead. You swallow up all the shit you're fed. And your trouble is you never learn. You fall for every trick they turn. Singing,
dead. Die, zombie club, die. BDO, move in. Take them out with a wooden clout. Give them some punishment. They've not had any punishment at all. Right. Arrivederci. See you soon. Hail, hail.